Well, good evening, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great evening. Thirsty Thursday is almost in the books, and it's almost finally Friday. And then come Saturday, the Dallas Cowboys will be taking on the Raiders. That's right, the Cowboys will be playing the Raiders in preseason football. And what we're hearing is the Raiders will be playing their starters in that game. There's no word on the Cowboys playing starters, but I kind of doubt that the Cowboys will be playing their starters in this game. The Cowboys, teams will look differently in preseason. Some teams will look at a preseason game and say, we need to get some confidence, so we're going to be playing our starters to get them some reps and really things, especially when you have a new coach, because we need to get a lot of work in because we're changing a lot of things. Other teams that are more established, that are better teams, they don't necessarily play a lot unless they are the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens believe in winning preseason games. They have probably more wins over, I think, the last 6 or 7 years than anybody else. And they take it as a sense of pride. To me, preseason is about getting in some work and getting out the hell healthy. That's the bottom line. That's all you really want to have happen in the games. But we do have some players that, you have to look at this right now with the Cowboys, that the Cowboys look to get a big bump up from the young guys. It looks like Mozzie, and y'all getting sick of me talking about Mozzie, but see, when Mozzie's plays good this year, don't act like I didn't tell you from Jump Street. I want you to come back and say, Mark, you were right. That guy did put in the work, and he's paying dividends. I want you to do that, because, you guys have no problem coming through when I make a mistake. You got no problem telling me when I make a mistake. That's fine. If I make a mistake, please, by all means, tell me. But when I get something right, at least come back and say, you know what? You're an idiot 99% of the time, but this time, buddy, you were right. At least do that. At least be fair. But the Cowboys appear to be getting a bump up from their young guys. We got Cooper Beebe. I don't know if he's going to be the starter or not, but he's getting an opportunity this weekend and taking first team reps. It seems like this guy can really crack some skulls. And you look at Tyler Guyton, so you all of a sudden, and Marshawn Nealon, Marshawn Nealon, Micah Parsons was saying he's like Cam Jordan. Now, I got to be honest with you. I've met Cam Jordan, and Cam Jordan is one big man. I'm going to tell you what I felt about this big in my life. The last Super Bowl I went to was at the NFL PA party with Calais Campbell, who's 6'8" and about 320, and Cam Jordan. And I'm in between these two guys. I feel like I'm about this tall. They were literally that big. They were humbling to me. And I'm just like, I'm glad I'm not out in left field against these guys. But for Micah Parsons to let him know that, hey, you remind me of Cam Jordan. What you're seeing here is the knowledge of the team's leadership, as well as maybe we're getting better at drafting this year. Sometimes you have a bad year, or maybe sometimes it takes time for players to come around. But we're seeing a bump up. You think about Overshown, to no fault of his own, tearing his ACL, we got nothing. From Schoonmaker, injury-riddled rookie year, got nothing. Mozzie, you got a little bit. But for the most part, you didn't get much out of last year's draft class. That seems to be changing this year, with the exception of Schoonmaker. Schoonmaker, man, he needs to show something this week. He's got a lot to prove. He was the Pro Football Focus's lowest rated guy as far as receptions go, and didn't get a catch. I think 33% is what he got. Now, Tyler Guyton, on the other hand, he was the highest rated offensive lineman in preseason's week 1. Now, again, It's not going against Myles Garrett. It's not. Let's pump the brakes before we pull out the anointing oil. But to come out in your first game and to show up and show off bodes well. Now the Cowboys, boy, I know I'm gonna get killed for these comments because I sell hope. Let me be clear here. I am not only happy that I have a glass that's half full, I'm happy that I got a freaking glass. Because it could be that not only do I have a glass that's half empty, that I ain't got a glass to keep it in. I'm holding it in my hands, okay? So I'm Mr. Positivity. I look for positives right now. The positive I look for right now, oh man, bad fumble. New England, jeez. You're going to let them score. Oh, you had them 13-6. Now it's 14-13, and you got a bad snap, and now you gave them the ball again. And then we're going to have Eagles pumping their chest. We are great. Oh, man. Be that as it may, you're seeing the evolution of the defense in front of our eyes. If you think about 2020, how bad our defense was. How bad was it? It was so bad that they gave up more points in that season. More points per game, because that was the first year, 17 games. So you could say, well, they had an extra game to lose the points. No, but they still snuck up the place. They gave up more points than any other team in Dallas Cowboys history. And Dan Quinn came in with his philosophy and did it with smoke and mirrors and turned them around to be a much better defense. Now, we see Mike Zimmer, and we see his plan. Accountability, bigger, more physical, and the fundamentals that hopefully will lead this defense even further than it's been. The other thing that's going to really, I think, make a difference is, I wonder, and you can call me crazy here, I don't know what Micah Parsons is going to be doing as far as his podcast and things during the season. I don't know. But do you feel like Micah Parsons is a little bit different since he's gotten to camp? Because now Micah Parsons, he's not there for OTAs and stuff. He's got his own thing, The NFL's got him and CJ Stroud, Mr. International and stuff, and going and throwing out first pitches in Japan and sumo wrestling and all these things, and being an ambassador for the game, because the bigger the game gets, of course, the more money the players make. So that's a bonus for the NFL. And for Bleacher Report, it's a great bonus to have Micah Parsons, one of the better players in the NFL, as literally the president of Bleacher Report and out there putting content, which is probably one of the reasons why you see ESPN and NFL Network jettisoning, well-paid talent, because they're not being watched the same way. I don't watch SportsCenter anymore. I honestly don't. Used to be, I'd watch SportsCenter every night. 11 o'clock, you're there for SportsCenter. Da-da-da, da-da-da, the updates and all that. Here it is. They decided not to even bring back Undisputed. And you're seeing kind of the evolution and change of the shows just being the opinionated arguments, the reality shows of sports, be that as it may. Social media and the YouTube and blogging has become the thing to be that as it may. But Malik Hooker kind of put Micah Parsons on blast, right? And was talking, and some of it was taken, oh man. Oh, that's a replay. That was a complete first quarter. Micah Parsons was put on blast by Malik Hooker, and I don't think it was intentional. I think some of that was taken out of context. But basically saying that, if you're doing your podcast and stuff, and we can't stop the run, maybe you should be looking and focusing more on the team. I don't think anybody plays football and at 24/7 is football. You have to have a little bit of time away. And I don't know that him doing a podcast from his house for a couple of hours is really taking away from the game on Sunday. But be that as it may, I think Micah Parsons has taken that maybe, I don't know for sure, but I'm just assuming that maybe when somebody says something like that kind of pisses you off or upsets you, that you look inside a little bit and think about what they may have said. Don't deal with the messenger, deal with the message. And it seems like, and I could be wrong, that Micah is taking on more of a leadership role. Micah's out there, because, Mozzie, my pet guy, I told you guys, he's the first one on the field and the last one to leave, and he's running extra sprints after practice. And here's Micah Parsons right there with him. Micah Parsons working with him, because I think Micah Parsons understands, if I'm going to get this ring, I got to bring these guys with me. If Mozzie can do better, that's going to make it easier for me. That's going to make it easier for this team. So I got to do whatever it takes to motivate him. You see him with Tyler Guyton and kind of welcoming him in the NFL and pumping him up. You see him now as a leader and a cheerleader for the players. And I hope that pays dividends for this team, because we seem to have been lacking that person that is the leader. Now, the Cowboys, they brought in Jordan Phillips, another big body in the middle. You end up bringing in Carl Lawson, another defensive end. I don't think the Cowboys are finished. I think we still need another running back. I'm not sure that Zeke is going to be, great, that he's going to be more than about 700 yards or so this season. He can get you short yardage. He'll be that third down back that can help block when you need it and stuff. But, and Rico does look better, even though, my guys, Philly 500 and all them laugh about Rico. But the thing is, you don't get a name until you get an opportunity to get a name and to be known. And we've had a lot of guys that nobody knew their name that got the opportunity and really made something of that opportunity. We got a lot of guys there that really can. And the guys that are going to be playing this weekend, they're going to be going against number ones. And if you can shine against, those guys, it bodes well for you, not only making a spot on this team, but earning playing time. This game is huge. And, wow. In another 2 hours, we'll be 20 days away from the season opener. 20 days. Wow. Unbelievable. But then again, it's not. Life flies by. Flies by too damn fast. Tell you what's kind of funny is Tracy and I have been together for 21 years going on now. And early in our marriage, she went out to California and she had a work trip, but she took my two daughters out there with them. And she took a picture at Santa Monica with the two of them on a palm tree before they left. And when we were out there this weekend, so that's probably 18 years ago. And when she went out, we went out there this week. Before we went to the airport, we stopped off at Santa Monica, and we found, we think, the tree that they had the picture on, and took a picture of it. Now we got to find the original picture But seeing, in my mind, I remember the picture and how young they were. And now looking at them both grown in their 30s, it's amazing how quick time flies by. It's amazing how quick time flies by. And that's why you got to make the most of every day. I try and get in as much as I can every day. And I always look at it of anything I get done today means I ain't got to worry about it tomorrow. And that served my life well. And I've always tried to make sure the people I love know that I love them. Because you might not get the chance again to tell somebody that. Pass that on. I love you guys, and I appreciate you. And hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. The season is here. I'm a little more hopeful than I had been. But then again, I always look at my glass half full and thankful I got the glass. God bless you guys, and see you in the morning, God willing. Peace.